What is happening, everybody? It's Vicious here, and today I am going to be starting a community poll for which mage you would like to see in DNF Duel. Now, this may mean nothing at all. If you share it and we get a lot of people involved, who knows? We might see your favorite mage as DLC, because I'm fairly certain that as far as we are in development, they probably are really close to finishing all their base characters at this point. We might get a male mage, and who knows, we might get two male mages. I don't know how they're going to do the final roster of the game. Anything is up in the air. Summer lasts all the way up through September, correct? So we have a good 9 months before this game may come out, possibly 6 to 9 months, or I guess we could say 5 to 8 months, whatever. But yeah, male mage, very interesting set of advancements, if you ask me. And I find myself having a hard time trying to decide. Actually, no, I'm not finding myself having a hard time trying to decide anything, because I know what I want. I want the Dimension Walker. The Dimension Walker is definitely my favorite. I thought he had 3 fingers when I first seen this, but it's just the way his fingers are. Dimension Walker. Let me talk a little bit about Dimension Walker first, because it's my favorite. So it says right here, a mage who studies the secrets hidden outside this realm. So the Dimension Walker has, like, I guess you could call it forbidden magic. Hold on, it's in here somewhere. In his like bio, it says something about like all the mages and like the type of magics they have. What is this? Elemental Bomber, Cross Counter, Glacial Master, Challenger, Swiftmaster, Spiritus, Mind Controller, Hollows, Gravitron, Unsummoner, and countless others. So I think some of those are advancements that we might get later on, because they're not done adding advancements. I know that this mage has 5, but who knows? When this game is done, you might see 6 or 7. I mean, they just added something to the gunner, and they just added something to the female slayer. But yeah, so what this particular mage, Dimension Walker, does is the Dimension Walker sets up like he has a familiar. Her name is Niarli, and she could function like a puppet, but it's probably going to end up being like the dragon. What's his name? Asta. It's probably going to end up being like the dragon for the Dragon Knight. Let's go ahead and turn that off here. So he basically attacks with like these exploding portals. These exploding portals, these lasers. He summons unspeakable beings from other dimensions, and like I think he's just shooting them with like bugs from that portal. There's like this Lovecraftian creature that he's just shooting. Like, he's a really cool, interesting character, and I think that this version specifically is the coolest because it just feels the most raw. Niarli aside being, used as set play, I could see this character having some cool things, having his own unique teleport. He has a backwards teleport that could, harm the opponent. And yeah, there's not much more for me to say about this guy besides he's just really cool. If you didn't like what you've seen right there, because it's all cluttered, I can understand that. But if you play DNF right now, you can see what I'm talking about. And he has lasers. You've seen the lasers. I think some of the stuff he has deals with gravity too, summoning monsters, and yeah, purple. What more could you want with this one? Next one, I'm gonna go to the one I think should be runner up. This is just personal. So number 1 is Dimension Walker for me. Number 2 is Swiftmaster, because I think the Swiftmaster's design is pretty dope. Kind of reminds me a lot of, how do you pronounce that show's name? Is it Magi or Maggie or Magi? Magi? It's on Netflix. It deals with genies and stuff, and Aladdin, and it's a really interesting anime if you haven't watched it. So, yeah, Swiftmaster, a mage who has the power of wind at his command. And I recently made one of these. I haven't really done much to advance them because I've been playing a lot with Vagabond, and I just advanced with my female launcher. But yeah, really cool looking, cool hair, cool outfit. Sets up these tornadoes. Could be, again, set play, but they're going to peel back the move sets, of course. I just happen to like it a lot. you know, the wind, and maybe he might have a wall bounce. He's like sending all this wind everywhere, and he's like physically attacking with it. So far, I played with 2 mages, like Elemental Bomber. Well, 3 mages technically. Elemental Bomber, the Swiftmaster, and Dimension Walker. I didn't keep Elemental Bomber because I tried to pick Swiftmaster and they defaulted me to Elemental Bomber, or maybe I misclicked, and they shoot projectiles. He's one of the 2 that actually has physical attacks. One moment. Had to take a phone call. Kind of lost my place there. But yeah, he sort of physically attacks with the wind, if that makes sense. He doesn't shoot the wind at you unless it's specifically in a move. I think that this is a pretty cool one, honestly. So that's like my second pick. That's like runner up. Swiftmaster is definitely a cool aesthetic, and he has an air dash, so you know that's something cool, if you ask me. My friend really wants a Bloodmage. My friend really thinks that there should be more edgy characters and edgier looking characters. Like those are his words, not mine. And as you can see, it's a mage who sources his power from blood. So it's a vampire without saying it's a vampire. You know, I know this game. And I think it also physically attacks, but it uses a spear as a catalyst, if I'm not mistaken. Has some cool teleports. Attacks with blood and drains blood. Probably can give health back to himself. Can't really tell a lot of what's going on here, but it looks like he does have some really big attacks, huh? Big attacks and some pretty large projectiles that take up a good amount of like screen real estate, right? Yeah, so that is the Bloodmage. In terms of who I want, I would say Bloodmage is probably last, but my friend wants the Bloodmage as like priority. Now, Glacial Master, especially if we got this outfit, I actually really like this outfit. I put this outfit on my Dimension Walker. Glacial Master, in case you had a hard time understanding, it's a mage who honed his water magic to perfection and, you know, uses it as ice, of course. Let's take a look. This one actually physically attacks with a lot of the ice attacks because there's a move called Ice Sword that every one of them can use. Yeah, Glacial Master can manifest weapons, just shot arrows, spears, swords. Glacial Master can also just, you know, use the ice as a projectile, as you can see. But I have not used this one yet, but as far as aesthetics go, I really like the first variation, the first awakening. Looks the coolest to me. Don't really like this one. Don't really like this one. This one here is pretty dope. I like the contrast with the red, and he's actually wearing purple, you know, and the ice is blue. I think that's the most well designed. If I could be like a you know, bit of a prima donna here, this one is, I don't like what they did with the hair, and I don't really care for this one. But yeah, that's just personal taste. Elemental Bomber. Now this is the other one that I played with. Elemental Bomber, of course, a mage who employs the power of the abyss for maximum elemental powers. Now that's awesome, right? He has every element. So he can use ice, and he can use fire and darkness. I think darkness is kind of similar to what he uses, or what Dimension Walker uses, I guess you could say. But it gives him a lot of options. He can actually switch which main element he wants to use, and he can... wow, that was cool. I didn't know he could do that. And he can actually combine some of them together. Okay, that is probably the coolest out of all like the super special fantastic moves I've seen. Now, I really do like the Dimension Walkers because the Dimension Walker, he like, you know, submerges like the entire world in like this Cthulhu land, and, you know, this giant, you know, tentacle creature is gonna grab everything and eat it or just squish it. Like, I do like that, but this dude just summoned, he just became God. He's like a Big Bang Theory, you know what I mean? Elemental Bomber, definitely number 4. So I got Dimension Walker in my first seat, and I got Swiftmaster second, Glacial Master third, Elemental Bomber fourth, and Bloodmage is fifth for me. What do you guys think? A lot of people like, well, now I won't say a lot of people like, but quite a few people like Spectre the most in my last poll for female Slayer, and I don't know. I feel like she's a little edgier than Vagabond. Not as edgy as Dark Templar, and I'm not judging. So if I had to take a guess, I think you guys are going to vote for Blood Mage, but I would love to be pleasantly surprised. I say that Blood Mage is edgy, but Dimension Walker is kind of edgy. But I don't think it's like, who am I kidding? He's edgy as fuck. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And I'll put the poll up, and we'll see who the favorites are. Peace.